Yeah, you mentioned that that father is trying to give all reasons for cheating, but you didn't mention what finally the actual reason should be given to him.
Yeah. Yeah. So we will. That is what we are going to do the next class. It's not a one-line reason. So
Okay.
we have to see, what do I lose if I lie? The question to be answered is there anything? I am clear about what I gain. Value of money is very clear, crystal clear, and nobody needs to be taught the value of money. But what is not clear to me is, what do I lose when I lie? What do I lose if I cheat on my tax form? It's not clear to me. That clarity has to come. And that is what we must be told. We don't have to be told, speak the truth, speak the truth. Everybody says, speak the truth. And Satyameva Jayate, it's all there. In our currency, it is there. Ashoka Chakra, it is there. So why Satyameva Jayate? Why not Asatyam? I see Asatyameva Jayate. India mein dekho to Asatya jitta hai. This is what it appears. So that clarity has to come. So that we'll see what we lose in the process.
So we can't explain one line to the kid.
So that is correct. That is correct. I mean, you can answer the question better than me. You have children. And so it's a struggle, is it not? It's a struggle.
Jaykumarji?
Yeah.
You were telling about Duryodhana. He knew what is dharma, what is adharma, but still he chose to follow the adharma. Why is like that? Is it due to his prarabdha karma, or what he has done to choose the adharma path?
Correct. So first fact is Janami Dharma. I know what dharma is. Janami Adharma. That is the first fact. I know what is right, what is wrong. So this itself is an important revelation. And anybody who commits a crime also knows what is right, what is wrong. It's not like the thief who came to this complex and stole somebody's house, didn't know. He knew it very well. That is why he comes during night time. Why he doesn't come during daytime? Because he knows what I'm doing is not right, and I don't want to be caught. That also he knows all. Now, so there is why did he do this? Knowing what is right, what is wrong. This is the, shall we say, $1 million question. Okay. And so prarabdha karma can be invoked. Prarabdha, definitely prarabdha. Because there is a pressure. So if you don't go to prarabdha, then we can say psychologically, there is some pressure in the person. Pressure in the person. That the person feels completely inadequate and unable to do things right. And I must have this at any cost. At any cost, I must have it. See that? Misplaced values, all these things are there. And so we see this everywhere. We see this everywhere. We see this, and some people are willing to trample on dharma, and it appears as though some people will say also, hey, these people are happy also. They seem to be happy. They don't know. They don't know what kind of damage they're causing to society. Like this, we say. Yeah. So I think psychologically, and why psychologically it's like that. If we say, yeah, prarabdha is the reason for it. That free will, when it is given, when the choice is given, then this is the thing about choice. You have to choose properly, and that choice depends on you. Nobody else can make the choice for you. And this knowledge of dharma has to be very clear. And as I said earlier, what I lose has to be very clear. If that is not clear, then I will continue to do things being ignorant of the immensity of the loss, which we will see in the next class also.
Thank you.
May I, Jay Kumar, if nobody else has a couple of questions?
Yeah, go ahead, Haraprasad.
Okay. In the last class, you said dharma is not absolute. Now, today's class, you said values, there are, individual values, cultural values, and universal values. Universal values, are they absolute? And what is the difference between a value and a dharma?
Yeah.
Now, first of all, why dharma is not absolute?
Okay. So dharma is absolute. So dharma is absolute when we say, let's take the example of causing hurt to somebody else. So you sit next to somebody in a park. In the evening, you're enjoying the weather and you're sitting, and the child comes and then pokes you, pinches you on the side. And then you say, what? What are you doing, my dear? You can't do this. This is not right. You say, because you just hurt me, and you know very well, my dear, that we don't like to get hurt. This is the universal knowledge. When we say absolute, it means one cannot do any act which causes pain in the other person. That is the meaning of absolute. Okay, that is the meaning of absolute. Absolute means it has to be followed to the letter. But then we just saw the example of this nurse, where she knows very well that she's about to hurt you. Okay, she knows also, you also know she's about to hurt you. But we don't call this as adharma. We don't call it adharma. We don't say, tell the nurse, you're going to get some papam because of this. You don't say that. Why? That means, even though it is an act that clearly causes hurt, it is not adharma, it is still dharma. That is what we mean when we say this value of hurting is not absolute. It's an overriding value, no doubt. In this case, what is the overriding value? The overriding value is the commitment of the doctor and the nurses to take care of me. Take care of my disease. That's the overriding commitment. But in the process, they have to do certain things which causes hurt and pain to me. And I'm okay with that. And sometimes I have to sign a piece of paper also. Yeah. They say, if I do this surgery, etc., then there is a risk. There are certain risks. And so, are you ready to accept those risks?
Yeah.
Only then we will take this forward. How many papers we have signed like this? Especially in America, it's a big thing. And of course, here also, these days, they ask these questions. And you have to sign. So, that sign is there because, hey, there are some, potentially, there can be some complications. And so, we just want to make you aware of it. This is what we mean, Haraprasad, when we say it is not absolute, means you can't take it literally and say, the nurse cannot say, oh, I will hurt you if I give you this injection, therefore I am not going to give you an injection. Such a person cannot become a nurse. Cannot become a nurse. You go to the hospital, you go to all these places and look at the people who are wailing and crying. Just to remove a bandage, how much pain it causes. And there are two nurses, they are holding his hand and this and that. So much goes on. That is what we mean, Haraprasad, when we say dharma is to be interpreted, dharma is not absolute. And in this case, value is really not different. A value is a part of dharma. A value means my commitment to not hurting is a value. My commitment to speak the truth is a value. Speak the truth. And even here, speaking the truth has to be interpreted. Correct? For example, we can go back to the same hospital example. And the doctor senses there is something there, and you took your mother, and the mother asks, Doctor, how are they? It's all this pain, joint pain and all this and all that. And the doctor will say, Amma, you're doing fine. Don't worry. Just take these tablets. And then he calls me separately and then tells me a few additional things. Correct? Few additional things.
Yeah.
So that means what? Is he lying to the mother? No. You're okay means what? He said, Ma, you're doing fine. She's not doing fine, really speaking. It's a white lie. You're doing fine is a white lie. But then the doctor chose to say that white lie to the mother. But to me, he said a few different things. So dharma is interpreted, Haraprasad. You are able to see it. Interpreted. Okay. Means speaking the truth is a value. But when should I speak the truth? In what way I should speak? To whom should I speak the truth? All these questions have to be answered. That is where interpretation comes. Correct?
Yeah.
That is where interpretation comes. That is what we mean when we say kushalam. Constantly we do this all the time. You're driving the car. Another example I will give. Driving the car. So in India, we drive on the left side. So you are in America, so I give you the America example. You are driving on the right side of the road. You're a seasoned driver because you've driven for so many years now, and you rarely get a ticket from the police. And so you're driving. Now, right opposite, you see a truck coming truck coming. The truck is supposed to come on the other side like this.
Yeah.
Supposed to come on the other side.
Right.
But you're approaching and he's approaching you, and you see he's right there on your lane. Your lane. Now what will you do? What will you do? You have several options. You can stop, but he's approaching fast. You may, fortunately, there are a few lanes on this side, and you immediately swerve to the left. You swerve to the left, and you are actually going on the wrong lane. You're going on the wrong lane. You are breaking the rule, my dear Haraprasad. You are breaking a rule right there. Because what did you do when you took the driver's license? You said the rule of the road is to drive on the right, but now you are driving on the left side. And now you are interpreting the rule, but turns out by apparently violating the rule, you have actually done a good job. You have saved the day. That fellow is drunk and he's going this way, that way. And he continues to be on that same lane. And almost everybody has moved to the other lane. So now what you have done? Can anybody accuse Haraprasad of violating the rule? Can a cop come and say, give you a ticket, you moved from here to there? No, cannot. The cop is going to go after the truck. Not after you and so many other people who did the same thing as you. So, this is what we mean by interpreting. Rule is clear, but sometimes it appears as though we are not following the rule. Appears as though. And yes, they may not be following the rule, but for the right reason, we don't follow the rule. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
So this is what we mean by interpreting values. This is what we mean by saying values are not absolute. This is what we mean by saying dharma is to be interpreted. This is what we mean by saying dharma is not absolute.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
But then the situation is very dicey, right? then it may be interpreted like Duryodhana also might be doing wrong from some perspective, might be doing right from some perspective.
Correct. Correct. So yeah, it has, each person has to own up the interpretation. And so then dharma will come into play, and the repercussions are always there, and each person knows if they are doing the right thing or the wrong thing. And so we will see that next class, what will happen to a person who is constantly violating dharma, So yeah, that person cannot be happy here. In short, I will say that. Cannot be happy himself. In addition to other things, like our Shastram talks about Punyam and Papa also. So Papa also accrues. So those things are all there. But Daisy means, yeah, the freedom is given to you to do it. And dharma is given to you. And the price is also stated.
No, my question was, but dharma, because dharma is being interpreted, now at times it became papa, at times it becomes punyam, right?
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. So in this, I mean, do you appreciate the example of the hospital or not?
Yeah, that is fine. But then that's what, there are few things which seems clear, but there may be things which are not clear, that this is right to do or not. It looks wrong, but it may be right to do kind of thing.
Correct.
Could we say it is driven by
the,
you could interpret it by the intention rather than the action? That is, what is dharma and what is adharma? What your intention is.
Yeah, so dharma is what I do, is it benefiting everybody? Is it benefiting the people I'm interacting with? Or is it for my own benefit I'm doing it? For my own benefit. I do things for my benefit, no doubt. But if it comes at the expense of so many other things, then we will say that is adharma. So it comes at the expense of so many other things. So I am hurting so many people in order for me to benefit. Then we will say that is adharma. So that definitely, that maturity does come with age only, can come. And then we will see. Next class, I'll also, Swamiji talks about this conflict. What happens in a person who So I lost all of you there for a second. So we will continue this discussion next week, and then let's see if that helps you answer your question. When we talk about what is it we lose when we tell a lie, what happens in the mind of a chronic liar. Okay, that we will see in the next class.
I'm sure there will be conflict of the mind.
Yeah, conflict. That's what it is. That's what primarily.
Yeah.
And also, sometimes ahankar also plays a role, is it? Maybe.
Yeah. We are not simplifying this by saying X produces this problem, and ankara is there, no doubt, and the pressure to get something is there, and that pressure prevents me from seeing what is right, what is wrong, and the damage I cause, I'm not clear about that. So we will see that in the next class. Anything else?
Thank you.
So the chanting, how is it? Are you all able to follow along with me? Yeah.
Yes. Check.
To a certain extent.
To a certain extent, I mean.
The reason I say that is so either I can concentrate on what you're saying and just say it, or the minute I start seeing my notes and I start trying to decipher such a large word, I get lost and then I've lost the rhythm. That's my problem.
Correct. So, so in time, I think you'll pick up because we are chanting the same shlokas every class. Now, this Gita Dhyanam, I think it's good for you to practice because after some time, I will not chant the entire Gita.
Okay. Can I have a question about that thing? You always say 1 to 3 and then you jump to 5. You don't say the fourth one. Why?
Oh, did I jump?
That's what I thought because I was reading through it.
No, he did not.
Oh, okay.
No, not in Gita Dhyanam, but in
the Guru one. In the Guru
first Guru one.
Yes, the Guru Vandanam. So why do you do that?
Yeah. No, there is one. Dukaras Vandakaro Vai Rukaras Tan Nivartaka.
Yeah.
I did not chant.
Yeah,
that's okay. So there is no rule that we must chant all these specific shlokas, etc. So just traditionally, even Swamiji used to chant it long ago, years ago, and then last 10 years or so he was not chanting. So I'm just doing that same thing. Yeah, we can definitely chant that also, but no specific rule there.
Okay.
And so practice. So those shlokas and the concluding shlokas, you will become familiar because we are doing it every class. But the Gita Dhyanam, I think it's better for you to practice it outside of class also. Just get used to listening to it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I think what we should do is, I don't know, I need your suggestion there. Haim, what do you think? So maybe can we extract a chant from one of the classes and then make it available? So
that should be possible. It should be easy to do.
Just the audio.
So,
only the audio or just like video clips of that?
Audio clip also is okay.
So yeah, I mean that depends on people's preferences. So if you want to put it on your MP3 player or something, audio will be good. But still, you have to go back to the video, no, for that, or how is it?
Yeah, I think I'll just cut out a video clip and then extract the audio from there. That should work.
Yeah. We can.
Okay. So maybe providing that, so repetition where we repeated, that may be useful for those who are new to this.
And putting that on a WhatsApp group could be really handy. Anytime they're free, you can play and.
Okay.
Namaste, Guruji.
WhatsApp, there is a limitation on file size.
Wow, look at that. Yeah. So
my audio
go ahead and stop recording.